I think we'll give people some few minutes before we start. So I think we have 15 people. So we can just begin. Okay. Someone please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So we'll begin right away. If you have any questions, Can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Please continue.
Okay. Let me start out here. Okay. Can can you guys hear me now?
Yes, please go on. Makini, I think you're in mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please start from scratch.
Okay. I hope that's better. Okay. Sorry about that. So the objectives of today is that we're going to talk about Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program, the Microsoft Health Bot service, and we're going to talk about the basics of Visual Studio Code. We have a Q&A session, and we'll have ended our evening. So I also want to thank Neha, who's in the meeting. She's the student ambassador from India. She's helping me host the event. She's my co-host, and I'm the organizer. So about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, it's a program by Microsoft to help students in campus to be a force for good for the community. That means that we, as students, we are going to impact our fellow students, the local community, and even the international community through the programs we do. So application for the program entails an online application at the website. You can just Google Student Ambassador Microsoft, and this page, you'll find this page after you click on the link, and this is my page. And when you apply, you'll get a form to apply, and it entails different levels. You'll carry out some interviews over your video and send them to the program, and when you qualify, you'll be accepted in. So the goal of the program is to ensure that we are young people, we are forced for good locally and globally. So you might find yourself helping fellow students build their coding skills online with Microsoft Learn, organizing a virtual hackathon to solve real-world challenges, earning certifications, or building digital communities. Why should you apply? You may, the intentions are different, but majorly we want to make a difference with students from around the world, grow your skills as a student, and build your reputation as a tech insider, and become a leader in your local tech community and empower others. So we connect through Microsoft Teams, and we are part of I'm part of a large community of students from different worlds. It's evident that Neha from India is helping me, and since we are Microsoft student ambassadors in the same team platform. And then there are three different milestones you'll achieve by being a member of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. We have the Alpha, Beta, and the Gold. So when you are accepted to the program, you do a learning path, you complete a learning path, and you become an Alpha Student Ambassador. And then you get 150 US dollars monthly Azure credits, a Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, a MTC certification exam voucher, studentambassador.com domain name, TechSmith, Snagit, and Camtasia software. And then when you host your first event, you move to the beta level, whereby you enjoy all alpha benefits, get a swag kit, event support, mentorship, and access to ambassador summits. Gold is the ultimate milestone, whereby you have gone above and beyond serving your local community, and you'll be invited to be in the gold milestone. You'll enjoy alpha and beta benefits, access to special events and speaking engagements, program leadership opportunities, participate in pilot programs, and Microsoft's most valuable professional mentorship. So you may also be invited to the MVP program. So we can see some students here, one of us from Kenya as well, so a gold ambassador, and their views concerning the program. Go ahead. So this is my profile. I'm an alpha. I've achieved my alpha milestone, and I'm doing my first event to proceed to the beta level. So the message of the day is that you can apply now, and then during the next time they reviewing the applications, you may be accepted to the program. So I'll dive right into the business of the day, which is we are going to talk about the Microsoft Health Bot services. So healthcare has really evolved over the past couple of years, and mostly currently during the Corona period, healthcare is shifting from physical encounter with the doctor to virtual encounters. So that's why Microsoft has developed an health bot services that helps you create a bot easily compared to coding from scratch your own bot. So let's explore what's a bot. The first bot ever made was in around 1967, and it was used by psychiatry patients. And a bot is a computer program that allows the user to interact with the program through either text or voice conversations. So the bot answers the user's questions and makes the redundant jobs easy to manage. For example, if I want to find a doctor near where I live, I just get into the bot and ask the bot, where can I find a doctor? Who can you recommend as my doctor? I have this and this. If I want to check my symptoms, I'll want to know, I'll ask the bot, and the bot will give me recommendations. So you can see, for example, in this image, the pregnant lady is texting the bot and saying, how can I help you? What will be my copay for the glucotex? According to the insurance plan, your copay for lab work is $25. So the bot helps makes healthcare access easier for people, let's say in people who have emergency conditions or in areas where they can't access an hospital quickly. So the bot service is a cloud platform that empowers developers in healthcare organizations to build and deploy their compliance, artificial intelligence-powered virtual health assistants and health bots that help them improve processes and reduce costs. So it can be used by healthcare providers, pharmaceutical companies, telemedicine providers, and health insurers. So as we go, we'll see different scenarios where we are going to apply the health bot services from Microsoft in our daily activities as healthcare providers, as computer software engineers, and insurance and management as well. So the goal is to improve the processes, improve the services, improve the outcomes, and reduce the cost of healthcare provision. So for example, instead of a patient traveling for 30 kilometers to access healthcare service, they can get a recommendation and visit a nearby pharmacy and get drugs. So why use the Microsoft Health Bot service? Because there are different bot services around, but why now the Microsoft specific one? So first, it has an extensible management portal. So based on the Azure portal, you can manage your health bots extensively. And then it has healthcare specific configuration options. Because of the large documentation, a lot of research, medical terminologies that have been incorporated into the database. So it's easier to build upon it because there is already existing healthcare knowledge of the bot. So, and then it has a built-in triage and symptom checker, and you can it's integratable with language understanding, intelligence software, intelligence service, and other cognitive services. So users can interact with the chatbot via text or voice in self-service manner. Okay, so use cases for the health bot. It can be used to build health bot instances that address a wide range of healthcare specific use cases. For example, insurers have built their health bot instances that give their customers an easy way to look up to the status of a claim and ask questions about benefits and services. So not only are we going to ask about the doctor near us, not only are we going to ask about our symptoms, but we can confirm if our insurance claim is valid and can help us access healthcare. So it's diverse. It helps a patient through a click, a small chat, find a lot of services in one platform. Also, providers have built health bot instances that triage patient issues with symptom checker, help patients find appropriate care, and look up nearby doctors. So triage, whereby we want to classify our conditions, the patients who are presenting easily for a specialized care. So instead of having someone talk to each patient at every instance, so through the applications, it's easier to triage them and then group them and say, for example, this is going to see a surgeon, this is going to see a medical doctor, this one is going to see a neurologist, and so forth. So the health bot has out-of-the-box artificial intelligence and world knowledge capabilities, whereby there is an interactive symptom checker and medical database are built into the health bot services. Conversational intelligence also adapts dynamically as the health bot instances learn from previous interactions. So if we have, let's say, 5 diseases in the bot, as time goes and as more patients are diagnosed with different conditions, the bot stores the information and creates a wide database of the healthcare information. So it doesn't mean that the first instance of 5 diseases will remain until 10 years. So if more patients present and are diagnosed with, let's say, more 10 diseases, the 10 diseases are added to the database. So it's dynamic and growing as time goes. So it doesn't mean also that the people as a healthcare provider are going to feed a lot of data each day into the system. So the bot on itself stores the data that it newly discovered data. The bot's health bot service by Microsoft is configurable and extensible. So unique scenarios can be authored by partners for their health bot instances to extend the baseline scenarios and support their own flows. So it can be configured to match the partner's use cases, processes. So if you have a hospital, a different hospital, you have an insurance firm, so you can configure it. You can customize it to fit your business. You can make it work within your environment in the healthcare system. And then it can be used to connect to partners' information systems, for example, systems that manage health information and customer information. So it can be used in a health setup to control most of the things from the patient sent into the hospital to their treatment plan, to their payment, and to their discharge. So the one thing that people fear about bots is security and security of their data and how their data is stored. What's the privacy? So for Microsoft Health Bot service, the information is handled by each instance is privacy protect to HIPAA, which are American protocol standards for patients, and secure to the highest standards for privacy and security by Microsoft. So the bot also subscribes to over 50 different security protocols, and it's built on top of the industry-leading Microsoft Azure technology, where the architecture that powers the health bot services ability to scale with resilience while maintaining the highest standards of privacy and security. We'll see that in the next slide. So, so it's easily managed and monitored by Microsoft partners via the Health Bot Service Management Portal and Management API. Someone wants to talk? Okay, I'll go on. So the management portal provides the ability to define the health bot instances behavior in fine detail and monitor usage with built-in reports. So this makes it unique compared to other bot services. So common scenarios, let's look at common scenarios. And as I said, most of the audience currently in this meeting are medical doctors and students. So the first thing is that you can triage and have symptom checkup powered by the built-in medical protocols. For example, the end user describes a symptom to the health bot instance, and the bot helps the user to understand it and suggest how to react. For example, I have a headache. So the next thing the bot will ask, since when? And then the patient can say 2 days ago. Then the bot will ask, where exactly? The patient can say front or headache. The bot will ask, does it radiate to the back or somewhere else? The patient will say yes. How can you rate your severity score of the headache? And so forth and so forth. So it's easier to now get the patient interact with the bot. And the same thing we do as medical doctors. Just ask for, let's say for pain, you want to ask where is the pain, where is it moving, what are the associated factors, what are the relieving factors, and then the bots will recommend the possible diagnosis and even recommend the doctor, and later recommend if the insurance of the patient can help cover for their medical bills. So the second case scenario is whereby general information about condition, symptoms, causes, complications, and more. So this especially for learning, both for the patient and the medical doctor now. So if a doctor is in the ward round and they want to know the complications of arthritis, so just text to the bot and tell me about the complications of arthritis, or use your voice to say what are the causes of malaria. So the patient is informed prior, and also the healthcare provider can also learn about the symptoms, causes, and complications of a condition. Especially these can be helpful to medical students as well. So it's easier to learn on the go. So if you are in a ward round or you're in internship or you are managing a patient or you are almost doing your exams and you want to revise through, so you can use the bot and interact, chat with the bot while also learning. So I also understand that currently how our patients are approaching us with Google information. So you tell a patient we are going to do this, but the patient says, "But I googled and the application says that I should be doing this and this." So there's that confusion. But now the point is that at the end of the day, we want everyone to be knowledgeable. So you want to tell your patient that, yes, I understand you Googled, but now, according to maybe my physical examinations, the results that we've gotten from the lab, this and this is what's happening to you, and this is the next course of action. Okay, so another thing, a patient can find their doctor type. So, for example, the health bot instance can recommend the appropriate type of doctor to treat an illness. For example, what type of doctor treats diabetes? So it will give you, let's say, Dr. McKinney. It will give you the address and even the directions. And then health plan inquiries. Your health bot instance can be customized to access information about health plan details such as pricing and benefits. So if you want to know how much do they charge for MRI at Nairobi Hospital, let's say, or Kenyatta National Hospital. So the bot will give you different figures and different options to choose from. So finding providers, your health bot instance can allow customers to search for doctors by specialty, network status, and other specifications. And it can be designed to allow your customers schedule appointments easily and securely. So the whole point of this is that the patient, at their click, at their chat with the bot, they're able to cover most of the things that they could have covered while traveling around physically. For example, I want to know if there's a doctor who can treat my malaria at Nairobi Hospital. Okay, I'll just tell the bot that now tell me about how can I find a doctor who treats malaria. The bot will tell me at Nairobi Hospital, and then I'll ask how much. I'll know, and then I'll ask, can I schedule an appointment at this point in time? So everything becomes easier on the go. Okay, so I'll move on to talk about its encryption, because now privacy comes in. So if I'm typing in and saying, hey, my name is McKinney, and the bot knows I'm McKinney, and the bot knows my location, so there are privacy concerns that arise. So how does that get covered? So customer data stored by the health bot services and Azure Cosmos database under the hood, the data is encrypted at rest. So it means if my name is McKinney and my address is 4639, let's say Nairobi, then it means when the data is at rest, it's encrypted. It's not McKinney. Maybe it's 66 something, some figures. But now when I access it myself, I can see my name. But under the hood, it's encrypted at rest. So when you encrypt, you give your data a key. A key is used to decrypt the data so that it retrieves my name McKinney from the encrypted characters. So if we maintain the same key for a long time, hackers are easily able to access the data, and then they are easily able to manipulate me. So what does Microsoft do? At rest, the encryption keys are rotated periodically. So it means, so if my key this time was 239, next time it won't be that. It will be, let's say, 467. I'm just using an example. So that they are rotated and access to the data is safely stored in the database. So then when we transfer the data from the database to my user end, or when I transfer the data to the database, there also need to be security, because hackers can intervene between the process and get the information. So that's why the Microsoft Health Bot service only allows incoming and outgoing data connections over HTTPS, which is secure. The S at the end means secure, ensuring the data in transit is always encrypted. So if I just type in my address to the bot and tell them, oh, I'm at Kenyatta National Hospital, then when the data is transferred to the database, my address is transferred to the database, it's encrypted along the way. Still, in the database at rest, it's encrypted. So, and the keys are given to each encrypted data. And then when I want to retrieve the data, the keys are used to decrypt the data, and then the keys are rotated periodically to ensure that it's safe. So generally, it's a very, very safe service for your data, for privacy and security of your data. Yeah, so up until there, before I move on to the next thing, are there any questions or concerns before we move on to talk about another thing? So the goal here was to generally talk about the Microsoft Health Box service, how you can use it and why do we need it, and how secure the systems are. So any questions before I move on? Okay, I'll assume that. Are there any questions? Am I talking to myself first? Am I alone? Are you guys with me?
Yes, you can hear
Yeah,
you.
with you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we're together.
So let's go on, and I'm hoping if you have any question, you can post in the chat. Also, you can unmute yourself and interact as we go on. So Neha will also talk about bots later, as when her time comes. So let me go straight ahead and talk about Visual Studio Code. So so most of the students were asking me, yes, you are talking about telemedicine, you are talking about having a good, health bot service to make work easier for us doctors, and also make work easier for the patient. But where do I start? Where do we start? How do I start to code? How do I write my first code? How do I integrate the different things? So today I'll do a basic of where to start, what you need. I'll talk about Visual Studio Code, and then next time we'll have a session whereby I want to talk about now how we are going to implement the use of the use of the Microsoft Health Bot service. We're going to build one next time we are having an event. And then for now, let's know the basics of programming. What do we mean by programming? So amongst us, there are software engineers in the room, there are medical students, as I said before. But I want to maintain it so basic for everyone starting, like explain to 5-year-old how do I start to code. Okay, so Visual Studio Code is a code editor. It's a Microsoft product defined and optimized for building and debugging modern web and cloud applications. It's free, built in open source, and runs everywhere. So what do you need to have your Visual Studio Code in your machine? At least a Windows 10 running machine, Mac OS 10.9 or later. You can have a Linux, Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, Fedora, and the rest. So long as you have a machine that's running any of the listed operating systems, you are good to go. Okay. Now we know what's Visual Studio Code. We've said it's a Microsoft product and it's a lightweight code editor, and it's optimized for building and debugging modern web applications. So we are going to see many of the benefits of Visual Studio Code. Okay, so it's lightweight, it's multi-platform, color coding, built-in debugger, integrated terminal, integrated Git support, IntelliSense with autocomplete, open source, extensible. So we are going to see this as time goes, each of the benefits. Okay, so how are we going to install Visual Studio Code? So if you Google in your machine, I'm not sure if people are doing this with me, but if later people are watching the video, that you just Google Visual Studio Code install and then select the stable build for your platform. So they'll give you an option for Linux, Windows, or Mac OS. So the Insiders edition is like using a beta version of the next update, but it's not applicable for this learning mode. If you don't see your specific platform, select other downloads. And down here, this is a screenshot from my machine. And when you install Visual Studio Code, it will appear in your application window. Okay, amazing. So we've installed, we've downloaded, and you'll follow the installation steps, and you've installed your Visual Studio Code into your computer. Okay, and as I said, this is what you'll see. So when you open the Visual Studio Code, which we'll do later, you'll see a welcome, a message, and it's a blank, dark environment, which now I'll show you how we're going to go through it. Okay, and then you can use and install some extensions of the same. So like material theme, prettier now, bracket pair colorizer, live server, which we'll see still as we are going forward. And for example, prettier now makes your code look amazing, so that you are motivated to code. Okay, so I'll go right ahead and open my Visual Studio Code so that we see what we are talking about. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Okay, it's opening up. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code. So up here you will find welcome window, and then this Visual Studio Code, editing evolve, okay, and everything. So you can start with a new file. You can open a folder, and then these are my recent projects that I've been working on, and you can get help down here if you can see my cursor. Yeah, down here. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go right ahead and use the common way I usually navigate my Visual Studio Code. So I open on the top left corner, you'll see different tabs. You'll see Explorer, Search, Source Control, Run and Debug, and Extensions. So let me talk about extensions because they were the last things we talked about. So extensions, there are different things that make coding easier, developed by other people, and deployed so that you can install them and add them to your Visual Studio Code. So now I've installed some extensions. For example, I've installed a Prettier now. Just a minute. Okay. And then, so you can see I've installed Prettier now. And the thing that people mostly do is that they check the number of downloads here before they download an extension to see how many people are using it. Okay, you can download as many extensions as possible to make your work easier. You can also write and code one and deploy it for other people to use. Okay, I'll go ahead on the left topmost corner. I'll open the Explorer, and it gives me an open folder or clonal repo. And then I'll open the folder, and then I come maybe to my documents, open this one, and I can open Hello World as my folder. Okay, so when that happens, your folder is open. As you can see, my cursor on the left side, where I'm pointing, that's my folder open. So Hello World. And then you can see the same window, welcome, which you can close if you want. and then your terminal is open. So one good thing about Visual Studio Code is that it provides an inbuilt terminal so that you can navigate and do all terminal functions without opening the terminal, the built-in terminal. Okay. So you can see in my terminal, in my documents folder, I'm in my Microsoft folder, and I'm in my Hello World folder, which I created before. So how are we going to write our first very simple application? Okay. So you can use the terminal to create your files. You can create a file up here under the file name, but I prefer using the terminal. So the terminal command I can use is touch and create, let's say, hello.html. Okay, when I hit enter, so my file is here, wherever I'm pointing. So hello.html is there. So I'm hoping you are following, because yeah, there are newbies into this. So just basics of how to write your first code. Okay. So you've downloaded, let me repeat again. So you've downloaded your Visual Studio Code, you've installed, and you've installed some extensions which you want to use, or later you can install them later. Now you've opened your file space and you're here. So you want to write your first simple application. So you can, as I said, you can use. Let me delete this one so that we use the let me just a minute. So I can delete this one. Okay, and then I can use up here to file, new file, and then the file I can name it. I can, when you click save, command save or control S, and I can name it hello.html. So .html means I'm creating a file known as hello, and then the file is a HTML file. Okay, we'll see other files. Dot something means we are creating a file of this format. Okay, HTML is hypertext markup language for just writing the skeleton of a website. Amazing. So we are going to write our first code. So the good thing about Visual Studio Code is IntelliSense, as we say. So it helps you write code easy. So I can just type HT and it will give me different HTML. So I'll choose the second one, HTML5, and you see it does everything for you. So doc type is HTML. HTML language is English. This is the head. This is the body. And the HTML has different tags. It has an HTML tag that surrounds everything. Okay. So title is the title of the page we are creating. So we can say hello world. Okay. And then we save. Okay. So we come to our body is where we write our code. I'm hoping everyone is following. So we write our code in the body. So let's say hello world. Okay, and we'll save. So after saving, now you've written your first code in HTML. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up. Let's go and open up a file that contains. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so I can double click on the file that I created, and as you can see up here, there is hello world. And boom, you've written your first code. Okay. So, but now you see, if you compare that with, let's say, this website looks prettier. It does a lot of color. When I come here and click, brings me a drop-down menu and all that. So, can we also do that to applications? Yes. So we can make our application look better. Okay. So that's why we have CSS, cascading style sheet, whereby we want to make it prettier and make our application look amazing for the user. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create another file. So, in my terminal, so in the terminal, when you press the up arrow button, it gives you the previous command. So I can just edit the HTML and just say CSS. So, and boom, on my left here on my panel, you can see this hello.css. Okay. CSS uses selectors. So I can select from the HTML, I can select, let's say, the body and work with it. So I can say the body, and I'll use curly brackets, and then I'll say background color. You see how the Visual Studio Code brings auto suggestions. So background color, I can say maybe white, okay, and save. Okay, so I'll come to my page and refresh, but there's nothing. Why? Because we have to link up the HTML and the CSS. So the good thing is that our Visual Studio Code, under the title, you just click and write link. It will give you different options. So you just use the link CSS. So just click, and now we name the file that we had written before on CSS, which is hello.css. Okay, so hello.css. I'll save, go back to my page. Just a minute, let me switch this and refresh, and the page is still white. Okay, so let's see if it's working. So we can change the page to be let's say black. Okay, and save and refresh, and voila, our page is black. Okay, but we don't want a black page in our website, so we'll just use white for now. Okay, and then yeah, we still have our hello world. Okay, so there are tags for HTML. So so hello world is just me writing anything in the HTML. So different sorry, so different levels are used for HTML. So just a minute. So we have H1 to H6. So H1 means the title with the largest font size. So I can use H1 and say hello world. Okay, I'll save, and when I refresh, it becomes bigger. Okay, amazing. So we don't want this hello world to just hang up there on the left side. So we can make it be centralized. Okay, so I can say, so as I said, the selector is H1, and I can say and padding just a minute, padding top, and say maybe 40 vertical height, and then okay, amazing. And then I can say I can align the items center, and then I can text align center as well. And let's see what's happening. Okay, now we have a hello world at the center of the page. Amazing. And then so we can create a small application whereby we want to make our page go into dark mode when it's at night, or use the light mode when during the day. Okay, so that now comes in with the functionality of the page, and that's where JavaScript comes in. So JavaScript now makes the page interactive to the user, because you can't have a website with hello world and that's it. Okay, amazing. So we'll create another file as we said, and this time we'll call it JavaScript. So we use JS for the same. Hit enter, and hello.js is here. Okay. So so what we want to do is we have a button in this page whereby the user clicks on the button to change into light or dark mode. So we can add a button in our HTML page and say a button, and we can say change mode. Okay. So if we refresh, we'll find our button is here, and it's not aligned with hello world. Okay. We are going to do that. So we have something known as a div. So we can put all these things, these elements into a div, and we can give it a class, and we can call it elements, and then we can insert them there. Okay. But if we refresh, nothing has still happened. So we go to CSS. We're going to select Instead of h1 now, we are going to use the class which was elements, which we created. And then if we refresh, voila, our button is here and the hello world. But if you click on the button, nothing happens. Okay. So in my HTML, I'll go ahead and define what I want to happen. Okay. Okay. So in my button, I'll say, so when on click of the button, okay, I want the button to call a function. Let's say change color. Okay, change color. So there are a lot of things I'm omitting, like explaining what's on click, what all these, because this is just a brief session to show you how these things are done. Later we'll explore deep and know everything in the HTML and CSS and JS. Okay. So so on click of the button, I'm going to call this function. Okay. And this function now, I'm going to define it in JavaScript. So old version, so I'll call a function, and the name of the function I called here was change color. Okay, so I'll use change color function, and this is what I want the function to do. I want the function to change color into dark or light. Okay, so I'll create a dark mode for the same in CSS, the one that I want to call. Okay, so I can create a class and call it dark mode. Okay, the dark mode, the background color is going to be black. Okay, and the color of the page is going to be white. Okay, in the body, the normal one, the background color is going to be white, and the color of the content is going to be black. Okay, amazing. So I'll go ahead in my HTML. I'll create a class in the body, and the class name will be dark mode. Okay, amazing. So what happens in our JavaScript? So in our JavaScript, old versions, okay, there's a new version. So we used to create variables. I'll create a variable, and I can call it dark change maybe, and then I'll use document dot body. Okay, because I want to select the whole body. Okay, so I'll use the variable. So so a variable here is dark change. Okay, and I want to in class list. I want to toggle. Okay, and I want to toggle the dark mode. Okay, let me explain what I've just done. Okay, so what I've done is that I've created a variable dark change whereby I've like take literally reference to the body and created and made it a variable. So a variable is something that can change, and then I'm using the variable to use this method of class list, and I'm going to toggle between dark mode. Okay, amazing. So if we refresh our page, it just changes to black, but nothing happens. Okay, if we click, why? Because we haven't included our script in our HTML. So scripts, we include them down here. I'll explain why later we do that and not where we had our link to CSS. So I can say hello.javascript. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, so voila, it works. So you click on the function, it changes to dark mode. You click, changes to white mode. So what's happening is that the background now is changed into black, and the color of the text is changed into white. You click again, the background changes to white and the color changes to black. So it's toggling between the two the two colors. So that's why we created a class of dark mode, whereby we are toggling between the body and the dark mode. Okay, amazing. And then there you are. You have your an amazing application, first application working, and you can maybe play around with the colors, and maybe this one now you can use let's say red. So if you changes to red instead of black, and you can work with the background color. Let's say it becomes green. So whichever thing you want. Okay. So that's the beauty of just a minute. Okay, you can see now you can change between the colors. Okay, and voila, you have your first web application. Simple one. Okay, so having said that and having done that, I want to say that this is just a basic. I did things in a rush because we don't have a lesson on programming. But basically, you need to install your software, Visual Studio Code for writing your code. You need a web browser. So for me, I use Vivaldi. It's been like a year and a half since I'm using this browser. Some people use Chrome, so whichever browser you can use. So and then yeah, you just need yourself as well. But as we said, the good thing about Visual Studio Code is that everything is almost done for you. So if I want to do something here, definitely instead of doing the whole method, okay, come here, do this, just a minute, and then write body and write a class. So it's easier. So I can create a class and say the class name is Makini, and if I hit enter, it's a div with class Makini. So it's easier to work on it. And then now the prettier now as an extension can help align your code. Once you hit command save, your code is aligned. You can include your comments in your code. Yeah, so Visual Studio, the best from Microsoft, and the platform has a terminal. You have a debug console. You can debug your code easily. And next time we'll talk about how to use the debug console and how to debug code using Visual Studio Code. There are many things you do with this code editor, and then yeah, voila, you now want to think next level how you're going to integrate the health board system services, and how you're going to create your first health board, and how you're going to make healthcare accessible, easy to access, and cost effective to the people. And that's how you are going to be a force for good for everyone in the world. So I think I'll leave it there and then take a few questions before Neha gets on board to briefly talk about board services, because she's now a computers software student. She's more knowledgeable on these things, and also she'll talk about her experience as a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. So thank you so much. Any question? Are you guys still with me? Or am I alone somewhere?
We're still here.
Amazing. Okay, so Neha, you can just go right ahead and share a few insights as we enjoy, with our new application here. Okay, Neha, please.
Yes, definitely. Please go to the slide of MLSA program and just start from there.
Okay, just a minute. Which slide exactly?
MLSA 1 application.
Okay. For me, I think I'm waiting. This one?
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think it's evening there. So good evening, everyone. This is Neha Surya Gouni, a battalion student ambassador, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. And presently, I'm a Harvard University dedicate and country lead at Women Tech Network, chapter lead at Girls Prep Hyderabad, and coding blogs, and I'm a lot into various technical domains. Seems most of you are from health domain. I'm also a lot interested into AI in healthcare, that how we use AI technologies and algorithms into the healthcare centers. So coming up to the program here, so Microsoft has initiated this 10 years back, around 8 to 10 years back, and most of first it was started in United States, and later it was expanded into the whole world countries. So right now, people with a like-minded perspectives and goals, students who want to represent their communities, universities, colleges, and a lot more group of people who want to change the world are really very welcome to apply for this program. This is the world's best program that ever a student can experience. So this one is really more important because a fellow who wants to aspire their career into a lot of out of the work actually, so then definitely this one would really help. This is not like completely into the technical domain. Even students from commerce, healthcare, and radiology or anything else, or even from aerospace, can also apply to this program because each and every domain is appreciated and encouraged here. So usually, this is what the main thing that what is like. You need to be a leader when you apply. So you need to be a leader to your community. I'm the one who is being represented India and Hyderabad, my college and university, and a group of communities with like-minded people who want to change a world. Has Makini have addressed before, the whole ambassadors program will be having three milestones: alpha, beta, and gold ambassador. Alpha ambassador milestone will be completed when you complete one learning path. And while coming to the beta milestone, this milestone we will achieve when you conduct an event where there's no limit, but when you really grab up to 100 to 200 people, then that's a really very wonderful, impactable event while we are doing it right now. And doing something to your community is what Microsoft always look in a leader. And like this, you've been like participating into a lot of programs, acquire more leadership opportunities. Then soon, like if you have done an impactable works, then definitely Microsoft will recognize you and make you a gold milestone. There are a lot more students from Nepal, Kenya, and Brazil, Philippines, India, Mexico. There are a lot more students who represent to Microsoft their work culture, that like the student program provides a clear steps to help you learn and lead so you can make a difference and embrace around you, the students around you. So coming to my experience, actually, Pablo Veramandi is a global program director for Microsoft Student Ambassadors, and today I'm really very thrilled to have one of a student ambassador and being accepted in this community. And the rest of the team of me are also so excited to welcome all the communities, and we really can't wait to make a great strides for this opportunity. As student ambassadors, you are in a like you need you'll be in a unique position to solve real problems, establish yourselves as mentors, leaders in your communities, and amplify your impact. And now, my experience is fully online with support of students and virtually learning, making it easier than ever to build on your knowledge while I make a difference. Microsoft Learn, where I'll be sharing its link in the chat box. So Microsoft Learn is where everyone comes to learn, and has a student ambassador. You everyone learn new skills and help others to do the same. So while joining a global online network to collaborate with leads that are focused on specific issues, technologies that you are passionate about, like as far my experience, I could be able to connect directly with experts and mentors at Microsoft and learn skills that will help you land your dream job and recognitions and build your reputation as a tech insider and leader. uh, Pay it forward by sharing your expertise, creating opportunities for other students, and making meaningful progress on issues, not just locally, but globally. So, me and my university students who share our passion will contribute to creating a future that that we want for our communities, ourselves, and the world. So it's like first, it was the global community of Learn Student Ambassador is at the heart of the program, and has being a participant as you could be able to connect to them on Microsoft Teams like this. So within that community, we'll be finding leads, groups of students who are excited to apply for their skills, make progress on meaningful issues or technology, learn green tech, healthcare, or AI, and then apply your league work to local and global challenges with opportunities like Microsoft Imagine Cup and student hackathon events. We can even expand our impact and pay it forward, like build your reputation, resume, and influence by creating and sharing your own videos and blog posts, which could be amplified through Microsoft social channels. And also, we have created the opportunities for others by offering our guidance and encouraging them to learn and go through opportunities like virtual coding boot camps. Provide an expertise to other students at my university and beyond who are interested in technology. And because Microsoft stands for empowering everyone on a planet to achieve more, so I can proudly share me as a Learn Student Ambassador affiliation on campus and even off campus. So in order to like become a leader like this, I've been made great strides. So I've collaborated remotely and built a big dream so that we can get free access with best class Microsoft 365 apps like PowerPoint, Excel, cloud services, like OneDrive and Microsoft Teams as well, and all the development tools and like Visual Studio even. Has like we achieve more milestones, we can even use Azure credit that comes with your Visual Studio Enterprise subscription to explore new services and build a proof of concept of our idea. So I've developed a lot of leadership skills in this program. So it really influenced a lot of people. Deep dive into my organization, teamwork, public speaking, and social communication. Leadership skills that set you up success and influence throughout your career, life and career. Then amplify your influence by taking advantage of free tools offered by Microsoft technology partners. Use a built-in advanced imaging editing features like text-based snagit screen capture. You'll be even having that professional looking videos using Camsha, screen recorder, and video editor. There's a lot to improve in this program. So when we see onward and upward, I'm really very excited to see the impact that I've made has far now, has a student ambassador which crossed all the globe. Like I have conducted few events in the Philippines, North America, UK, and now even in Kenya. even if it's remote, but it needs some influence. So this is what the more important thing and each student want. So those of you who are passionate about using technology in healthcare to make a difference and have yet explored becoming a student ambassador, I hope you'll consider joining us in the future for sure. If you want any recommendation, I'll be sharing my profile in the chat box. Please do check, and you guys can connect with me in LinkedIn, or you can mail, or even uh, you can just reach me out by Makini also. I can recommend you guys if you're interested. We can just have a quick call, and even I could really am really very fortunate to help people who are really passionate in helping people and healthcare. I'm a most into AI and healthcare. So even I'm an internet farm work where we usually create Azure health boards so that we could conveniently and collaboratively can um, talk to customers who are suffering with some problem in their health. And coming to Azure Health Board, bringing conversational AI to healthcare. I'll be talking about how we can bring a conversational AI to healthcare. So basically, Azure Health Board Service empowers healthcare organizations to build and deploy an AI-powered complaint, like conversational healthcare experience at scale. Uh, the service combines built-in medical intelligence with natural language capabilities, extensibility, tools, compares, constructs, allowing healthcare organizations such as payers, pharma, HMOs, telehealthcare to give people access to trusted and relevant healthcare services and information. So uh, I would like to share you a free Microsoft Health Board service. I've just dropped the link in the chat box. So you can have a free demo of example of being a customer, that how relevant you can talk to the uh, customer who wants to chat to a doctor. So delivering an intelligent and a conversational healthcare experiences at scale, like we can integrate medical content from trusted sources, including information on conditions, symptoms, specialist medications, and procedures. Delivering predictable triage and symptom checking. Understand healthcare intents by leveraging built-in language models, turning into a medical terminology. Uh, Handles interruption, top changes, human error, and complex medical questions also. So, to empower healthcare organizations to extend intelligent health assistance, like address your own specific business and use cases by easily authenticating, extending, and debugging both flows. Securely integrate, like, yes, so securely integrate with your own backend systems. Build from a library of scenario templates and common industry use cases. We can even optimize both instances with built-in reporting, offload operation and infrastructure management, and even maintenance. So in order to secure your platform, resistantly scale your both instances on Microsoft Azure while maintaining highest standards of privacy and security. HIPAA compliance by external authorities and even ISO 27001, 27018 and CSC Gold certified, and even a GPR complaint. So all the data is encrypted in transit and at rest. So even we can build a compliance constructs. So there are a lot more customers like Paramera Blue Cross is reducing calls to call centers by implementing an intelligent healthcare virtual assistants. Even Aurora Healthcare is helping patients easily triage symptoms and locate nearby care centers. Quest Diagnostic is one of our another customer from Microsoft Health Board. supporting patients by answering late lab test related questions, locating the nearby test centers, and connecting them with agents. So when I want to talk deep about how this Azure bot is really all about. So this Azure Health Bot empowers developers and healthcare organizations to build and deploy a complete conversational experience. So the thing how it goes create a virtual health assistant with built-in healthcare capabilities such as medical database and triage protocols customized to your requirement with healthcare specific configurations options and extensibility tools. We can leverage privacy and the security mechanisms to align with industry compelling requirements, even authenticate and integrate with EMR data using FHIR data connections to personalize patients' flows. So creating health boards using built-in medical knowledge bases, tranche protocols, and language models trained to understand clinical terminology, trigger seamless handoff from a both interaction to doctor, nurse, or support agent. Leverage a library of industry-specific scenario templates to accelerate the creation of healthcare use cases. So when we customize an extensible of what we are up to support the organization custom scenarios with healthcare specific configurations options and extensible tools or use visual authorizing tools to build validate your logic and use FHIR data connections to securely integrate with external systems and incorporate patient data from EMRs. Surface your conversational experience to multiple channels, such as your website or Microsoft Teams. Uh, Microsoft Azure Health Port Service comprehends security and compliance built in. So this is the largest compliance portfolio in the industry. So we can just go to Security Center and overview its policy and compliance. So Microsoft invests more than 1 billion USD annually on cybersecurity research and development. And Microsoft Healthbot Service employ more than 3,500 security experts who are dedicated to data security and privacy. So just start billing your Azure board services for free and switch to a paid plan only when you're ready to go for production. There's a free plan, doesn't expire, and it is perfect for testing out your conversational use cases. Build out and publish a proof on concept to share with stakeholders before going live. Help boards on free plan receive 3,000 messages per month and access to all functionalities such as built-in trade protocols, medical knowledge, scenario authenticating tools for billing, custom flows. Uh, and in order to talk more about how we can implement this, there are few new people who are working on this, and they're completely into this domain. Uh, Let me just talk about what it's all enterprise development and how we can use Microsoft Visual Studio and this. So usually we have a Azure account, and there we can practically have a inbuilt Azure Helpboard Center that how we can use the artificial intelligence in order to get this Azure Helpboard services. So yeah, so how we mostly generate the all kind of stuff related to the healthcare. So there's a company called Framework. This was completely developed by Microsoft Learn. Uh, using Microsoft Helpboard service. So how this framework application we built is like, so it's all about a framework started amidst a pandemic in a month of June 2020. So if COVID-19 pandemic has taught us something, it is that healthcare industry is a backbone of survival and can never sleep. It is will always be essential. It is a result this understanding that farm work came to life. We have completed 6 months and have set up offices at Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and are still looking to expand. So the main goal of this application is to establish a provider-driven software suite that is built by consultation of provider for a provider. So the vision is that an innovative healthcare solution to a global market using cloud computing with artificial intelligence at affordable prices. So the products that we have is EHR, a revolutionary tool with seamless involvement of authorized personal highest level of security system to monitor patients' health. RCM management to generate and boost your revenue at your fingertips with the EHR, and also a patient's portal, a mobile suit empowering patient to determine their health conditions and monitor provider interactions, and also a telehealth to step outside when you can perform treatment staying put at home. So this was one of the application which was built using Microsoft Helpboard servers, and coming to the analysis and the data analytics that how they have used this. The capacity, the great challenge from cloud platforms due to massive heterogeneous on-demand instances running at different times, to for the better capacity of the whole platform. We have a cloud computing instances that have released to collect computing demands beforehand. To use such instances, users are allowed to submit jobs to run a pre-specified duration. So it's a theme like Microsoft have provided a complete application inbuilt so that they could collaboratively talk to a patient and know their position, that how they are feeling right now, and a doctor can come to know that how far a patient is being suffering with some point, some category of disease or with illness. So that is it all about. So thank you for having me for today's workshop. It was great giving a section to students from healthcare even, and talking about AI in healthcare and Azure Helpboard service. So in order, if you Medicon students want to create a board, we can inbuilt give you a Microsoft Azure application so that you can just create one in your fingertips, and you can like have a very comfortable application in order to talk to your patient. Thank you so much for having. So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourselves and ask me. I'm ready to answer you guys. Okay, so I think no one have any queries, so I'll just wrap it up the workshop. So thanks for having me today. That's great of Makini Ring and having me for an interactive section, and so that I could even have a section with students from Medico also. So great to talk to you guys and connect with you. So if anyone is interested to apply for MLSA program, please do reach me out. I have my details with Makini also. You can reach him out, or even with me. I'll just share you my LinkedIn profile and even mail ID. You can just have a formal mail with me so that we could proceed on the application. Thank you. Thank you very much.